Hey guys, it's Barrett with the Camping Camper. Today we're going to talk about how we installed a Blink video doorbell on the camper with always on internet service to keep us knowing what's going on around there all the time, even when the camper's in storage. So if that's something you're interested in, stick around. So we recently installed the InstaConnect system. It's a system I paid for with my own money. I didn't have any promotional partnership, but there is an affiliate link down in the description. I've liked this product so far, so if you're interested in checking it out, check out that affiliate link down in the description because it'll help the channel out a little bit. I do have a video on my first impressions and how we installed the InstaConnect on the rig, and I'm going to put that up in the corner as well as down in the description, so be sure to check that out as well. In essence, this system gives us always on internet service at our camper that is mixed with our unlimited internet service on our hotspot plan through AT&T FirstNet. If you're a first responder or a nurse, I highly recommend this plan as it's the absolute cheapest and best plan that I found for blazing fast internet speed, and it's completely unlimited. I recently decided to add security cameras to my house, and I chose the Blink security cameras. The reason that I chose the Blink system to start with is because it does have a 2-year battery life, and with the wireless connectivity, that means you can put them about anywhere as long as you have internet connection. And so I was sitting around thinking, if I got always on internet in the camper, why can't I put a Blink camera on the camper? Now I have saw a few different ways that people do this. A lot of people do use the doorbells, which we're going to get into in a minute. But when I first started thinking about it, I wanted like a camera on every side of the camper. I wanted Fort Knox here, baby. But the issue with that is the way that the Blink cameras attach to the mounts. It's just like a piece of plastic that pops on like a pop rivet, and that won't stay too well. A lot of people that do this, they get different mounts in order to put those on that are a little bit better, they have a little bit more articulation. But the problem is going to be that mounting bracket attachment point is still not going to be very secure. Now I have saw some of those commercial brackets that the camera goes inside of an enclosure there, and they do articulate a little bit better as well. And I thought about that, but I still wouldn't trust it going down the road. And I don't like things that I have to do a lot of setup and take down with, because we're weekend warriors. We move somewhere about every other weekend all year long, and I don't want any extra steps as far as setting the camper up. Also, some people that I see put the doorbells on, they take them off when they transport and stuff like that. I've left this on. I've been on a couple of trips now. It's been fine. It's really secure. We'll go over how I installed it a little bit later in the video. I'll timestamp that here if that's what you're looking for. But it's been great. It's held up fine. It's very secure on the side of the camper, and I'm happy with it. I really wanted these cameras for 2 reasons. The first reason is to keep an eye on my camper while it's at home and in storage. It actually stays at my neighbor's house, and it's just barely out of view. It gets blocked by some tree cover there. And so I always kind of try to keep an eye on it, but it's hard sometimes because you can't see it from the house. And I also like it because of the security aspects there of, you know, if anybody's up messing around your camper or not. The second thing that I really wanted to do with these cameras and have the ability of is whenever we're boondocking somewhere, we're staying in a parking lot somewhere in a Cabela's, Bass Pro, Cracker Barrel, those are all my favorite places. I have a whole video dedicated to that, and I'll put that up here and down in the description. But we stay in a parking lot somewhere if we're going on a long trip, which I really like, but you always hear about the dreaded knock at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, how do you know that whoever's on the other side of this door is who they say they are? This way I have at least a visual cue, so I have some idea what's going on out here, because that window right there, you can't see out of it. It's frosted. And the only other thing that I have for security measure is built into the in-command system, and it's their security alert system, which is the most wonderful, safest thing in the world because it just blocks your field of vision, and it alternates the inside lights and the awning light. Inside lights, awning light. Doesn't even have any sound to it. How's that supposed to even help? All it does is take away your own vision. You know, if you put the thin shade in the door, you can see out of it, but the problem is you can't open it and close it with the screen in the way, so you either have to leave it open or leave it closed. A lot of people do mount those upside down so you can kind of see out the top. but it's just something I didn't want to deal with. All right, so let's start talking about the process of installing the cameras. I ordered the camera doorbell directly from Amazon. I did only decide to put the doorbell on the camper because I didn't want to fill with any of those mounts or anything like that. Now, it's important to remember that when you make the order, you need to get a doorbell that has the sync module if you don't have one already. You have to have one of these sync modules in every location that you have a camera system. So I have one location set up for home and one set up for the camper. Now, while we're going ahead and talking about it, I'm going to tell you, you can get the sync module there and you can put a flash drive in there, and that'll save all your clips to the flash drive without you having to pay anything. But if you want to upload your notifications to the cloud and save them, then you do have to pay an Amazon fee of $10 a month. I think it's $100 if you pay for it a year at a time. That's for unlimited cameras everywhere, and it even includes both of the systems, so like the house and the camper system. They're all included under one umbrella of $10 a month, and those will stay on the cloud for a maximum of 60 days, but you can save them at any point to your phone. Now, one of the downsides to the Blink system is that it does only record whenever it detects motion, but it's pretty good at detecting motion, and most of the time if you're going to want to do anything, you're going to want it to record whenever there's motion around. So the first step in actually installing the cameras is to connect them online. For that, you're going to need to download the Blink app from your app store if you have an iPhone, and then the app's going to walk you through the installation. I am going to go over most of it here though, just to kind of give you a preview of what you're getting into. After you have the app downloaded, go ahead and start it up. You'll add the Blink sync module first. In order to do that, you're going to hit the little plus sign at the top of the app, and then you're going to hit sync module, and then it'll have you scan the QR code on the back of the sync module, and then you'll follow the directions that it tells you. This is where you're going to give the hub a name. And by the way, you can have more than one, just like I said already. Then the app's going to tell you that the sync module needs power. So you're going to need to hook it up to power. It does have a USB plug. I personally suggest to plug it in somewhere that has constant 12-volt power, because I don't ever understand why people use small appliances that are 110 in a camper unless they're seasonal or something they don't move, because you have a battery system that's going to stay charged as long as you don't let too much parasitic draw, which by the way, in this case, I do have 300 watts of solar on my roof, so it's going to keep my batteries charged and I don't ever have to worry about small things like this running my batteries down. And my lithium batteries are great. I'm going to tell you, if you ever have any inclination in like boondocking or doing something like this where you're going to have power while you're not around, I highly recommend lithium batteries. The ones that we have are the Lion Energy batteries. So after that, you're just going to follow the directions on the app to finish setting up the sync module. You are going to need your Wi-Fi password to make these connections, but it walks you through it step by step, so as long as you have the password, you're going to be fine. So then after you have the sync module installed, you're going to install the different cameras or doorbells or whatever that you have. So you're going to go back to that plus sign that's at the top of the app. You're going to hit that, and you're going to hit add camera or video Blink doorbell or whatever that you have. Then you're going to scan the QR code on the back of the doorbell. We're going to just use the doorbell as the example because that's what we did here. Then you're going to install the batteries as directed. After this, you're going to wait for the red LED to start blinking on the video doorbell. Then the software install is going to be complete. I would then take the video doorbell outside the camper. I took it outside and I just moved it around to different places with the app on so I could see what it was seeing, and I could see where the best place that I could mount it. I've seen some people mount it right in the middle of their door. I was kind of curious as far as if this handle would be in the way, but it gives a good picture here. But I did move it around a few different places so that I could tell where I wanted to put it. Now there's also an angled backer that you can put in there, and I did do it because I have a slide here and my slide's open most of the time. So what that does is it angles the camera out a little bit, so it gives you more of this view, but you can still see quite a ways around to the right. But that is one reason that I kind of wanted to do another camera, but I didn't. Now there's also a template in the box, and it has a little piece of metal taped to it. That little piece of metal is important because that's the key to remove the doorbell, which I'm sure you could just use a knife or something, but it pushes in at the bottom and it releases it if you're going to take it off. A lot of people, like I say, do take them off whenever they transport and stuff. It's a very secure connection. I'm not worried about it. But you are going to want that little key for whenever you have to change the batteries or anything like that. Then you're going to take that same piece of template on the cardboard and you're going to tape it to the side of the camper wherever you decided you want to mount the doorbell. It is important to get it as level as possible, but remember, if you're going to use a level, it's not going to tell you that it's level if your camper is not level. Mainly this is going to be for the side here, front to back level. So you're going to want to make sure that either A, you do it while it's level, or if you're not going to fool with leveling it, that you compensate for it and make it as level as possible. You can even measure it from the side of the door frame. You just want it to be level with the camper, not level with the ground. So then you use a small drill bit to make the holes where it shows in the template. I just drilled it right through the paper. It worked fine. And then you're going to use the wood screws that came with it. But before you put the wood screws in there, what I would do is go ahead and get some sealant and put in those holes. And that way it's going to seal up those holes as the screws go in. And then after you get the screws in, I would go behind and put some sealant around the heads of the screws and around all the little plastic areas that are open inside there, just around where the screw is, just to give it some extra protection. So then if you use the angled mounting plate, what you want to do next is you want to get that flat backer piece that goes with the camera, and you want to use the tiny screws that come in there, and you're going to screw that to that angled piece of plastic. And then you're going to snap it down. Now when you snap it down, it's going to show you on the screen exactly how to do it. You're going to feel a very subtle click, but you're going to be going in your mind like, did I feel it click? Because it's very subtle. But like I say, it's a little tricky just to figure it out, for that confirmation of, oh, it's in there. But once you get it in there, you're going to pull up on that thing, you're going to move it around. It's not going to budge at all. The one thing that you might want to do is remember to turn off the notifications to disarm the system whenever you're traveling down the road. Because on my first couple of trips, even still, I'll hook up and I'll forget, and it'll start sending me blink notifications like every 20 seconds because it's filming the road as we're driving by. Now, if that's your only camera, that's the only one you're going to do, then you're all done. Your system's ready to go. But I did install one additional blink outdoor camera. But like I said, I didn't want to have the commitment of moving stuff around before you go on a trip or anything. And so what I did is I actually took that outdoor camera and I mounted it on my neighbor's shed. And that gives me a view of the whole side of my camper. Now, I will say that it's kind of out of range for the motion alerts, but I'll still get quite a few of them from people driving through and stuff. The thing is I can pull it up and I can see my whole camper anytime I want to. Especially if something funky is going on, I get a motion alert from the doorbell here. Even if I didn't get one from the shed, I can pull it up on the shed and I can see what kind of monkey business is going on down at the camper. In that camera, it just automatically disconnects when it loses internet signal, and it just connects by itself when you get back home. There's nothing that you have to do. So far the cameras are working great. They have pretty decent night vision as well. I will include an Amazon link for the doorbell and the sync module that I used here, as well as some outdoor cameras. I'll even put a whole kit in there if you're interested on it. But I highly recommend this as long as you have always on internet and a power source. The module, you won't use a lot of power, but like I say, if you got a little bit of a solar panel, or if you keep your camper plugged in at home in storage, it's going to be more than enough power to power the little sync module. So guys, thanks for joining us. I hope you like this project. If you did, if you decided to put a video camera in your camper, no matter what type it is, let me know in the comments. Let me know how that install went.
Do not forget to hit that subscribe button.